What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this POV review by AutoTopNL. My name is Martin, and today I am taking a look at this Alfa Romeo Stelvio. Now this is the 2-liter turbo version with 280 horsepower, but this one has been slightly tuned up to 315 horsepower, somewhere around that number. Okay, so let's start with the spec. We've got a grey Stelvio today. Now I love testing this car because yes, we have driven the Stelvio before, 2 times before actually, but that was a quadrifoglio and a tuned quadrifoglio. Now this might be more realistic for people to buy, right? It's more affordable, it's probably half of what a quadrifoglio costs, so let's just check it out and see if it's an Alfa that gets your heart pumping. So we have these beautiful wheels, 20-inch, and we have winter tires today with a V speed rating, so we can go up to its top speed of 235, but maybe it's a bit faster because it's been tuned. Now at the rear we have a beautiful rear end, big fat exhaust tips, but the finishing though is terrible. You can see that there's just this little pipe right there, and if you drive behind this car, all you see is that those little 2 pipes poking out of the big fake ones. And I mean, come on, that's not great finishing, right? Let's check out the engine. Is it beautiful like with a quadrifoglio? It's a bit weird shaped, this bonnet. Actually like it. It's a bit roundish. Okay, so we have a strut brace to improve front axle turn in and stuff like that, make it more sharp. And here we have the 2-liter turbocharged engine. The base model has 200 horsepower. Now the Veloce has 280 horsepower, but that's only software. So if you have the 200 horsepower version and if you tune it, you also have 300 plus horsepower, which is a pretty good deal, right? So stock they have 400 newton meters of torque, and this is supposed to have 490. And it's really cool to see that designing the engine bay, they left room for a V6. So this is clearly the space needed to fit the quadrifoglio engine. But let's see what this little 2-liter turbocharged engine will do. So, on the interior, now, for this price class, this 2-liter turbocharged price class instead of the quadrifoglio, the interior is really, really nice. I think the quadrifoglio interior is lacking for such an expensive car, but this is alright. Except for all the buttons and switchgear, which is pretty terrible. It's super cheap, it doesn't sound very good, it's really thin plastic. Let's get draggy going and see what this thing will do. Because this is like an all-in-one video today. We haven't done any clips like we normally do, but we do all the testing in this video. Well, I've done a few runs already, but I will tell you about the results on the way. So let's put the car into dynamic mode, and what I like about this is that it's a physical switch that just stays into place. So if I put it into dynamic and I turn off the car, it will stay in dynamic, which is really, really nice because all modern cars go back into normal mode when you turn off the car, which can be pretty annoying. Okay, handbrake, yeah, there it is. Oh, that's the first thing I have to say about the engine. It sounds and feels like a diesel. It's so unrefined. This is a petrol car. Man, that's a diesely sound. If you drive like a Volkswagen 2-liter turbocharged engine or one from BMW, they are silky smooth, and this one really, really isn't. So we have that engine linked to a ZF 8-speed and it has really short gear ratios, and I think they've done that to make it more fun, because if you put it into manual mode, you're really working the gears. You know, this is 4th gear, 3rd gear, 2nd gear. Look at how many, that's the end, this is the end of 2nd gear at like 70. Nowadays I can do 100 in 2nd gear most of the times. Okay, let's do a launch. It is a bit wet, but we have winter tires, so that's not a problem. We are going to brake launch it, so give it a little boost before we set off. Let's see what she will do. Stock claim time is 5.7 seconds, so this should be a bit faster. And that's 6 seconds dead. Now, the fastest I was able to do was a 5.8. So, pretty disappointing if you ask me for a tuned version. Okay, yeah, it's a bit wet. It doesn't have summer tires, but you're not going to get like half a second quicker. So, yeah, that's a bit of a letdown if you ask me. But that ZF 8-speed with those short ratios is really fun, and the base of this drivetrain is rear wheel drive, so if it doesn't have enough traction on the rear wheels, it sends power to the front, but it starts at the rear wheels, which you really feel. And it has, like with many Alfas and Ferraris, a very quick ratio steering, which makes it so much fun. It just dives into a corner the moment you use the steering wheel, and it's just really good fun. And the upshift actually is super quick, and I really like how Alfa tune their ZF 8 speeds. They are always really good, and a lot better than, for instance, in a BMW, who use the same gearbox. Downshift is also really quick, and I love the fact that you have these massive aluminium pedals, column mounted, and you just feel like you're driving a baby Ferrari. And they have this nice metally sound when you upshift, and they feel amazing at your fingertips. It's really good. It really is a very dynamic car, and it's so much fun to drive. Even though it's an SUV, they have done a great job on the handling and the suspension, I think. It's sharp, it's composed, it's comfortable. Great job. And because of the short gear ratios, you keep shifting, downshifting, upshifting, and you really have to like work to get everything out of it. It's a bit windy out today, so not ideal circumstances to do a top speed run, but we are going to try. But this is not 315 horsepower, let me tell you. This is struggling to get past 210. So, you know, I feel like I'm driving the stock 280 horsepower version, and even for that number, I'm not too impressed. So 100 to 200, we just did a 22.3. Fastest I was able to do was a 20.4, something like that. So the owner expected it to be like a 15, but it really isn't a 15. But let's give it one more try. We are using 102 fuel. Please get out of my way, sir. Why aren't you going to the right? Thank you. come on, 21.6. I think that's because I fueled up and we now have a full tank of fuel, and that's like 60 kilos extra, so I think that's why it's a bit slower now. But I mean, this is not too impressive, right? It should do 235 stock. Well, I can tell you it won't. It really won't. But the main question today was, is this a nice car, being affordable for someone who's looking for a nice family car and is looking for an exciting car? You know, we're always looking for an exciting car, right? Well, let me tell you, this is an exciting car. It doesn't sound like it, but the handling, the gearbox, they all make up for it. It's really entertaining, and I think there's nothing like it. If you compare this like to an X3 BMW, what is it, 30i, something like that, this is way more fun to drive. It's so zippy and it wants to play around, and I mean, you feel like you're going fast, but you're not. But I guess the feeling of going fast is the most important thing, right? Brakes aren't too bad either. But even on these stupid winter tires, it handles really well. It's just a lot of fun. Just turn off draggy, because that's really ruining it for us. I can really tell why people love the Stelvio, because it's really unique in its playfulness. And it's a good looking car, I have to say. That's never disappointing with Alfa. And I love this wood trim. That's awesome. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed this review. Maybe it was a bit disappointing for some. For me it wasn't. I really like the car, and man, just don't tune it, I guess. It's not the best tuned car I've ever driven, to really understate it. Thanks for watching guys. Go subscribe, hit that button, go check out this review or check out the reviews playlist. Thanks, bye.